Dalits, as they are now known, and considers their changing place within Hinduism. Challenging questions about who is or is not a Hindu are also raised by Indians who have crossed the black waters and moved beyond the sacred territory of India. Yet, in Indian communities worldwide, temples have been established, Hindu movements have spread, and Hindu ideas and rituals have been transmitted. The spiritual side of Hinduism has appealed to non-Hindus too, raising the question of whether Hinduism remains a religion solely for those born into Indian families and Hindu castes, or whether it is now a missionary religion. These and other questions about the identity of Hinduism are discussed in Chapter 9. Is it one religion or many different religions, each defined by region, caste, and sect? Is it a religion at all? Does it challenge the very idea of religion? Whilst it is impossible to answer these questions fully, opening them up for discussion reveals the extraordinary complexity, diversity, and dynamism of all that we call Hinduism. Chapter 1. The Scholar and the Devotee. If you go into a library or bookstore with the intention of finding out about Hinduism, to which section do you go? To sociology for books on the social system of the Hindus? To art and architecture to learn about the fabulous temples, carvings and paintings in which Hindu mythology is depicted? To languages for books on Sanskrit and other Indian languages? To anthropology for information about village India, its society and culture? Although you would find useful sources in all these locations, you would probably go first to the religion section, because in Western countries, Hinduism is thought of as a religious system, much like Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism. One of the key issues for this short introduction is the extent to which this is true. Is Hinduism a religion like others? And what are its principal characteristics? In this book, as well as discussing a particular theme, I ask what that theme reveals about the nature of Hinduism. In Chapter 9, I return to the definition of Hinduism, particularly to the question of unity and diversity. The term Hinduism implies a unified religious system, and indeed many Hindus and non-Hindus describe it in this way. Others, however, say there are many Hindu traditions, even many Hinduisms. They are related to one another, but remain different in important ways. Is it possible to say which view is right and to give a watertight definition of Hinduism? Until the final chapter, I will follow conventional usage and refer to Hinduism. Seeing Hinduism from different perspectives. Do people who practice Hinduism see it the same way as those who study it? Do practitioners and devotees share the same perspective as scholars? Why is this important? In order to choose between the various accounts of Hinduism on offer, it is helpful to understand how those written by scholars and practitioners may differ. The two groups have different intentions and readerships in mind. The former seek primarily to inform, the latter to encourage spiritual progress. This book is a scholarly rather than a devotional account. Its aim is not to recommend Hindu practices or ideas, nor is it to put forward a particular Hindu viewpoint, but rather to introduce interested listeners, Hindu and non-Hindu, to some of the principal characteristics of Hinduism. Furthermore, even among scholarly books, there are those by both insiders and outsiders, Hindu and non-Hindu scholars. In the West, for example, introductions to Hinduism have been written by those who have studied and written about their own religion, such as K.M. Sen, Anantanand Rambachan, and Arvind Sharma. Others are by scholars who have spent many years studying Hinduism but are not Hindus themselves, like Klaus Klostermaier, Wendy Doniger, and Tracy Pinchman. To what extent does a person's religious persuasion affect what he or she writes about religion? Each book on Hinduism differs as a result of the background and viewpoint of its author. What scholars choose to include or exclude in their books, what examples they give,